Are never starting over, only starting fresh. Hello, hello, beautiful badass, and welcome to episode number 32 of the Magic is in You podcast. I'm so grateful you are here today. My name is Kelsey Holmes. I am the life mindset and embodiment coach behind the Magic is in You podcast, and I am so grateful you are here today. So, back to what I started with. You are never actually starting over, only starting fresh. I personally have gone through phases where I feel like I'm starting over, starting from square one. Can you relate to that? Do you ever feel that way of like, oh fuck, I've got to like start all from the beginning again? Like it feels like there's so much. I recently heard, I don't remember where. I wish I remember where, but I don't remember specifically where. But I recently heard this little note that you're never actually starting over. You're only starting fresh. And it really resonated with me because it's so true, right? We are always compounding on what we have learned and grown and explored and experienced before, whether we are starting in a completely brand new adventure that we've never actually done before, or if we're doing something that we're expanding on, right? We can always bring experience that we have had in the past into our new adventure, into our new experience that we or creation that we're cultivating, even with the things that are perhaps brand new for us. We have so much experience in the past that we get to bring with us into this new adventure, into this new activity, into this new journey of where we're headed in life. So I've got a little story. I have a confession. And I have felt some feels about this, and I almost feel silly like sharing about this, but maybe you can relate. I want to be just honest and vulnerable here, and maybe this will help you feel less alone, or at least one person feel less alone, because at the end of the day, that's what I want to be here to do is just help one person at a time. But I have a confession. So for the last like 6-ish months, I've pretty much completely ignored Facebook. I said it. I got it off my chest. I've been very consistent in my businesses on Instagram and growing YouTube and doing the podcast. But Facebook has been one of these things that's never been my favorite thing. I'll be honest, when I was long, long time ago, before I even had a Facebook, I was doing things that I probably shouldn't have been doing, partying and drinking and doing stupid things that like 18-year-old people do, or 18-year-old kids do. And I got in all sorts of trouble when I was in school via Facebook because people had posted my pictures online, even though I had no idea that they had taken the pictures, didn't have a Facebook or anything like that. And the school saw and yada, yada, yada. It was this whole big thing. And I remember like just really being like crushed and resenting Facebook way back in the day. And I've done some work on it and done some like rounding around it and also just like released a lot of shit from the past in that time in my life where I was not the most proud of myself and my actions because I was partying and drinking way too much and just trying to find who I was and figure out who I was, but I didn't like myself. So my like objective was just to get really fucked up and then I didn't have to think about myself, right? So long story short, I have never had like the most exciting relationship with Facebook where I really enjoyed it. Maybe you can relate. Maybe there's a different social media for you that you're not a huge fan of. Maybe it's all social media altogether. For many years, actually, I just didn't go on social media. Eventually, I had like started Facebook to stay connected with some of the folks that I had met in the Yukon Territory in Northern Canada on my NOLS course with the National Outdoor Leadership School, where we were in the backcountry together for 80 days. And then coming into the front country, I wanted to stay connected with these people that I had met from around the country. So I started a Facebook then, but never like really got into it. And it honestly wasn't until About 2020, actually, that I really got into Facebook. Even though I had run two successful massage businesses at that point, Facebook was never part of my marketing plan. My marketing was using my scheduling app, Schedulicity, which I really enjoyed and appreciated as a massage therapist with online scheduling. And then getting out in face to face environments, whether that was teaching yoga or doing networking events and getting in different networking groups, joining Chamber of Commerce. That's how I grew my massage businesses was face-to-face networking and getting out in my community. It was never social media. So then in 2020, when the world shut down, including my massage therapy business very abruptly and unplanned, I ended up spending a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more time on social media. I had begun training as a rapid transformational therapist before shit hit the fan in 2020. I had begun training as a rapid transformational therapist in 2019 and was just barely on Facebook, just to be in the RTT Facebook group so that I could help bolster my learning. But I wasn't on my personal profile or anything like that. It was really just to be able to connect with the rapid transformational therapy group and in that learning. And so as time progressed and I completely shut my massage practice down, began with Creative Combinations Montana, our steel fabrication business, where we create custom metal art, Montana inspired metal art, metal and wood furniture, and all sorts of other fun stuff with Nate, my husband. I began to get more on Facebook because all of a sudden it was like the space to connect. I think, like a lot of people, getting on social media a little bit more mm, excessively or intentionally or robustly during the pandemic when everything was shut down and we weren't able to connect face to face. All of a sudden, it became a primary source of connection for a lot of us, if it wasn't already. And so during that time, I continued and finished up my training as a rapid transformational therapist and began to work with clients. And I was meeting all of my clients via Facebook, which is absolutely incredible because I was starting to get to work with not just women locally, but I was working with women all of a sudden around the globe. I was working with women in South Africa, in Germany, in Iran. I was working with women in like just all over the place. And it was just so incredible. And all of a sudden, my relationship with Facebook shifted from one of like resentment, kind of like hands off, a distant kind of thing, into one of appreciation, into one of connection, into one of growth, where I was able to expand not just myself, but help others to expand within themselves. And that's where I continued to slowly grow a little bit on Facebook. I continued to allow myself to be curious about the connections on Facebook. And then eventually I started an Instagram, which I found to enjoy more than Facebook, partly because I it was like this new world. I wasn't connected with anybody yet on Instagram. I wasn't connected with people who knew me back in my late teens and early 20s when I was up to hoodlum hood rat shit. I wasn't connected with people who I had known for a very long time. I was like, it was just like all new connections. I didn't go out there seeking old connections that I already had on Facebook, but I went out there to find new connections. And it was this new sense of freedom when I started an Instagram page because I don't know about for you, but when fear of judgment comes up for me, because it typically comes up for most of us, but when fear of judgment comes up for me, it comes from people I am close to. That's like where it's scariest for me is feeling like the people who are close to me or who I perceive as close or thought were close are in this judgment of you've changed or this is different or are you sure you want to do that? That sounds risky. Um, that kind of thing has been a real big opportunity for me. And I say opportunity because all challenges are opportunities, right? And so while it has felt incredibly challenging at times, I also understand that it's a wonderful opportunity. And so once I began to grow my Instagram, Facebook all of a sudden kind of became less exciting for me, and it kind of became a little easier for me to start ignoring it a little bit because I was like, oh, I'm doing the things. I'm growing over here, and I just kind of started to sideways ignore it. Um, Let me know if I'm not alone on this because I feel quite silly and vulnerable sharing this because even with all sorts of growth, there's always just more room to grow. And so as I'm sharing this, I feel silly because I'm over here shooting up myself. Shouldn't I be past this? Shouldn't I be fucking over this? Shouldn't I have grown beyond this by now? But I know that I get to meet myself where I'm at today and every day. And even though I posted for the first time in 6 months on Facebook today, today's a new day. It's a new beginning. It's a new opportunity. I get to step into this new possibility of who I want to become. I get to be so grounded in myself that even when people make comments about change and growth that they're maybe perceiving as not what they want, um, I get to be grounded in myself and appreciate myself for the growth that I've created within myself because yeah, growth is fucking challenging sometimes. Like, right? Do you remember as a kid you got growing pains? Or at least I did. I'm like 5'9". I'm not that tall, but I'm fairly tall for a girl. And I used to have wicked growing pains. Like my legs would ache and hurt so much because they were growing. And just like when we're growing physically in our body, whether we're growing muscles at the gym and we're tearing muscles, literally lifting heavy weights, and we're sore the next day, or we're growing as a kid and you have growing pains. Oftentimes, there's growing pains when we are evolving, when we are growing, when we are changing in our life. And I've had so much incredible expansion and created so much incredible expansion and growth in the last well, fuck, almost 6 years now, but really in the last 5 years, that a lot of people from the before land, as I like to call it, they don't recognize me. Like, literally don't recognize me. I have shed a lot of weight that I had been carrying for 15 years. I have shed a lot of giving a fuck about other people's opinions. I've shed a lot of old limiting beliefs. I've shed a fuckload of old limiting beliefs. I've shed a lot of fear. I'm I've shed a lot of anxiety and just shit. And people straight up do not recognize me now from my past lives. I ran into somebody the other day at Costco, for example, and I said hello and I had to remind this wonderful woman who I knew for a very, very long time, or have known for a very, very long time, who I was. And she just like was floored. She's like, oh my gosh. And just like, it's that kind of thing, right? Like we get to be grounded in ourselves when people are in shock of who we are now sometimes. And so today, when I posted on Facebook for the first time, I reminded myself that this isn't starting over, that this is just compounding on everything that I've done to grow myself, to know myself, to love myself, to accept myself, to meet myself where I'm at today. And that allows for genuine connection. It allows for genuine growth. It allows for genuine, just like vulnerability. And every time we allow ourselves and empower ourselves to be vulnerable, even when it's fucking scary, even when we feel some feels, even when we are unsure of ourselves, perhaps, every time we do that, we're strengthening ourselves. And yeah, it can feel uncomfortable. It can feel challenging. It can feel like almost even like, that like soreness of growing pains. But we get to take the lessons that we've learned over the days, the years, the decades, and we get to bring those forward with us. In the past, I would have done this whole big explanation of excuses. And today I just simply did it, ripped off the band-aid, did the thing. And just like that, I'm reconnected with all of these wonderful people. Maybe that's even you. I'm watching a little spider crawling across the wall on the other side of the room that I'm in right now. And s- this used to be a two-car garage, and we still have some bugs here and there. But spiders are a reminder that we get to be the weaver of our own web. We get to weave and create our own life. We get to create our own home. And just like spiders, sometimes we have to like deconstruct stuff, right? Like when a bug lands in a spider web, the spider oftentimes will come in and tear the web down and wrap the bug up and actually destroy the web to be able to wrap this bug up, right? And then it weaves a new web, it creates a new web. And so sometimes it looks like a lot of chaos and destruction, maybe even like tearing some shit down. But that's so that we can create a new one. We can create a new home. We can create a new web. We can create a new foundation. And that's with the knowledge that we learned before. That's bringing the skills that we've created from the past. And so today, as I was moving through my feelings about, um, not feeling great about this whole Facebook thing. I know it feels so silly even saying it sometimes, but I get to also not invalidate my feelings, but just like be honest with them and share them. That's why I am sharing them because I used to be, and I'm still known to sometimes do this, but a chronic stuffer of feelings. And if we stuff our feelings for long enough, before long, our being, our body is literally overflowing with emotion. That's where things like outbursts come. That's where things like road rage come. Ask me how I know. And so over the years, one of the things that I've really diligently been working on is allowing myself to create safety in my body and my being, to actually be able to feel my feelings. And I'm very proud. I've gotten quite good at this by myself. And so my next step is working on being more vulnerable in sharing where I'm at, like authentically, honestly, vulnerably. Um, and this is something that I'm still actively working on and I don't know how long it'll be. Maybe it'll be something I get to work on for the rest of my life. As I continue to shed layers, allowing myself to really pick up the pen of my life and become the author, become the weaver of my own web, become the main character of my own life, right? So, long story short, you get to bring all of the experience, all of the knowledge, all of the past things with you into this new adventure, into this new journey, into this new day. You get to build on your past, even though it might feel like you're starting over. You're really not. You're starting fresh. It's a blank slate with all of the knowledge, all of the experience, all of the energy that you've had in the past to come forward and help you and empower you. And anything that's not serving you, that is not helpful for you to bring forward, you get to release that. You get to put it fucking down. If it's not something that's helping you, like the shame that I was still holding from fucking college for being a sweet little silly 18-year-old, partying way too hard. Even that shame, I get to put it down. I don't have to carry that anymore. I get to put it down. I get to release it. I'm not 18 years old anymore. I'm not doing stupid shit like that anymore. I get to forgive my 18-year-old self for wanting to belong and seeing that the only way that she could would be to do it in a way that really wasn't the most empowering for her. Mm. And even as I say that, I can, like, my entire body, I just felt like this whole shred of skin just released from my entire body as I'm sitting here in Inspiration Cabin that was a two-car garage that we transformed into an incredible Airbnb slash showroom space slash workshop space. And it's amazing how when we speak things out loud, when we share things, when we allow ourselves to be seen and heard as I am here on this podcast today, it takes away the power of the things that had such a grip on us for so long. I allowed that shame to stay with me literally until today, when I am here intentionally sharing about that experience in college that has literally been holding, that I've been allowing to hold myself back even umpteen years later. Hmm. Let me know if I'm alone in this. Let me know if you resonate with this understanding that you get to bring all of your wisdom, all of your knowledge, all of your experience forward with you, starting fresh, not starting over, but starting fresh with all of the strength that you've cultivated, with all of the flexibility that you've cultivated, and with all of the wisdom that you've gained over the years. And let me know what you're releasing today. Right now, in the cosmic realm, it's an incredibly powerful time to release deeply. We are right before the new moon in Capricorn, which is a big reset time, not just for this month, but for the next, I believe it's like 13 years. We're about on the cusp of this huge portal and transition on the 26th of January, 2026, that is sending us into a new 13-year portal, ending an old 13-year portal and sending us into a new one for new beginnings, new expansion, new growth. And so this is a really powerful time to release what is no longer serving you in any way that feels good for you to do that. Like I just told you, I am releasing all of this shame, all of this shit from back when I was in college today in this moment, just sharing with you, allowing myself to be witnessed by you. And thank you so much for being here and witnessing this. And as I'm releasing this, I'm also setting the intention for this new portal, this new expansion, this new growth of continuing to allow myself to grow myself, know myself, love myself, even when I'm being vulnerable, even when I'm sharing what feels like really scary, heavy shit that I packed down for so long, even when it feels hard, even when it feels like other people are judging me. I'm allowing myself to put all of that down because it's too heavy to carry with me in the places I want to go. I have too much impact to create in this world to carry that shame, to carry those shoulds, to carry that weight of other people's judgments and opinions. Because at the end of the day, every single night, for the rest of your life, no matter what happens, you will be with you. I believe it's Alan Watts who says, anywhere you go, there you are. And that's exactly why I do what I do, because this isn't just like about other people. This is about like my journey of getting to know myself, love myself, grow myself out of self-loathing, out of self-hatred, out of such heavy, intense shame, generational shame, really. Um, so that I can live authentically, boldly, and create the impact that I desire in this world, empowering other women to release the shame, release the shoulds, get out of that feeling of stuck, stagnant, so that they can find and create the alignment and flow and fulfillment that they truly desire in their life. One where they can release the weight and burdens that they've put on themselves in the past, or that they carry with them because they think they, quote unquote, should. You don't have to carry anything you don't want to. You can put anything you want to down and know that you can, if you want, pick it back up again. You don't have to ever pick something up again if you don't want to, but know that it's your choice always, every single day. You get to decide what you carry with you through this life, what you put down through this life. So choose intentionally. Choose in a way that supports yourself. Choose in a way that supports your business, that supports your family, that supports your loved ones, that supports you. Because at the end of the day, wherever you go, there you are. So remember, you're not starting over, you're starting fresh. Allow yourself to think about it like a fresh new day or a fresh spring, like the first blossom on the tree. The tree has blossomed so many times, so many years before, and this is a new, fresh blossom on the tree. And if you want to dive deeper and allow yourself to really step in to your magnetic, authentic self, finding alignment, flow, and fulfillment within yourself for yourself, getting unstuck out of the shoulds and the shames. I have a couple one-on-one coaching spots in Elevate You. So you can shoot me a DM or head over to kelseyholmes.com/coaching to learn more about the transformational coaching experience. Thank you so much for being here. Drop your little ahas in the comments below. Perhaps even share what you're going to put down today. Perhaps you share how you are deciding to step into this new version of yourself, brand new today, every day. It's a new possibility, right? How are you going to become the weaver of your web intentionally and on purpose, with purpose, so that you can truly live a life that lights you the fuck up from the inside out? Thank you again so much for being here. And in love, light, and so much gratitude. Peace.